Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we're going to talk about Geist of Saint Traft. It's hard for me to actually pronounce that R. I've said Taft forever. Anyway, our presidential spirit cleric here. He brings his girl to the fight with him, the 4/4 angel. And when I saw, I was like, this is really good. We've been. This was original Innistrades when this came out. We've been fighting this card for many sets. So, what could a blue white Geist of Saint Traft deck do? Now, obviously, the first card that came to my mind was Invocation of Saint Traft because why get one when you can get two at the same price? And then in Amonkhet, the Anointed Procession came out. Now, if my understanding is correct, when Geist of Saint Traft attacks and you get that one turn token, as soon as you get that one turn token, it creates another one. Or no, it creates twice that many. So I think the way Anointed Procession is worded here, both of your original token and your copy token will both get exiled at end of turn. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that the wording, if an effect would create one or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many. So the Geist is actually creating two angels and not the Anointed Procession. That's how I'm thinking it is. Y'all let me know if I'm just, sadly mistaken. It happens a lot to me. But anyway, you said I'm getting that. We get two tokens instead of one. And I was like, well, I got to find a way to protect this guy. And Unquestioned Authority and Spirit Mantle came to mind. I'm going to have to procure me a Spirit Mantle. It also gives it protection from creatures. It gives it +1/+1, though. It doesn't teach you to draw a card. Now, my general is white and blue, so it's going to get +2/+2, unblockable, and lifelink, so that's amazing. Another way to keep it from getting blocked in combat and, supremely overpowered because he is just a 2/2. But the unblockable is cool. Making him a 4/4 lifelinker is not bad as well. So we're playing white and blue. So the detention sphere came to mind because, yeah, I know you think I'm crazy because of the whole, there can only be one concept of EDH, but I'm telling you, tokens can get out of in this deck. Tokens can get out of hand. So goblins and elves and heaven forbid Pegasus, whatever. And now people are actually trying that. What is that? Mechanized production? Yeah, that's silly. But anyway, playing blue, Heuristic Study. It's one of the few decks I have left that actually I had Heuristic Study for. Now, Amonkhet also gave us As Foretold, which is a beautiful, beautiful $10 bill. I love it. Now, that's where I originally went with Geist of Saint Traft. And that's a whole lot of enchantments. And it's blue and white. Which instantly threw me to back in the day, BITD as it were. But we had this deck called Opalescence Replenish. We'll get to Replenish here in a minute. Now, the way the deck worked was you packed a whole bunch of enchantments in your deck. And you got them into the graveyard by cards like Attunement, Attunement, by the way, is amazing. You never discard Attunement. You pull it back, draw 3, you discard 3 other enchantments, you play your Frantic Search, what have you, and you keep doing this as much as you can, as many as you can get, and then you replenish. Replenish is personal, it just affects you. So you get all these enchantments back into play. Opalescence makes them dudes. And you go nuts. You have fun. Now, Sigil of the Empty Thrones fits right in here. Fits right in. We're playing a lot of enchantments. We kind of have a 4/4 angel thing going. So, it slots right in the deck perfect. Now, we've tried, or Wizards has tried, twice to kind of, go back to the Opalescence Replenish days. The first time they did it was Skybind. It blinks a non-enchantment permanent till the end of turn. So you could conceivably play an enchantment, blink their blocker if something has happened to one of your enchantments on the Geist, and smash in that way. Now, Starfield and Nyx was them doing it both. This was a once a turn, one shot replenish, and an Opalescence. So apparently that's worth 5. And we've had this card for over 2 years, and I've never seen it cast. I've never cast it. I have never seen this card see a battlefield. Or, hell, a deck for that matter. But I guess that's because it needs a home, and I think right here, right now, it's found a home. So while we're at it, let's roll through the other enchantments. Some of these are kind of obvious. The Intangible Virtue, Copy Enchantment, Ruined Halo. I'm going to name your general because that's what we do. Oblivion Ring. Our spot removal is also enchantment based, so that you get all of the triggers off of your Sigil and all of that kind of stuff. Flash and +2/+2. Now, Call for Unity is kind of neat because left the battlefield. Doesn't say die, doesn't say enter the graveyard. Left the battlefield. A love you revolt mechanic. Because we're going to have an Angel of Turn leave the battlefield. So we should be getting some counters on this here enchantment. It is kind of rough, though, because you've got 5 mana for an enchantment that doesn't directly, instantly impact the board. So, I don't know. Biden of Thassa is also an enchantment, so that's cool. Control Magic. There's your card. That's like, great 4 mana spot removal. Steel Artifact. Man, I love those simple names. When you say I cast Steel Artifact, you don't have... Nobody says, hey, what does that do? Well, it steals a damn artifact. But Pacifism and Cast Out. By the way, Cast Out, I like it. Flash Ring. Angelic Chorus. This just seems really good with the guys because you're going to be gaining 4 every turn. Sphere of Safety equals OMG. Oh my God. Each enchantment, a mana per enchantment. And y'all, you know that we've got quite a few here. Sigil of Sleep. This is probably a flex spot. I will probably end up replacing the Sigil of Sleep because you put it on the Geist because the Geist is the one that you're going to want to make contact with. And yeah, you can bounce one of their creatures. It's kind of it's kind of underwhelming in this particular deck. There are, by the way, this was a force back in the day because turn 1 you played Fledgling Osprey, and then turn 2 Sigil of Sleep, and you kept them without playing creatures the rest of the game. It was beautiful. Oh, and both of them were common. Now, Ivory Mask. I played yesterday. And I'm telling you what, a buddy of mine, he cursed me I had no creatures, so it was the sacrifice a creature or a planeswalker or take 5, and that damn card did about 20 damage to me. It was ridiculous. Anyway, Ivory Mask, Danny, you're not cursing me. Confiscate says you control Enchanted Planeswalker. Now, it says permanent, but, hey, I'll take what I can get. And if I can get a Planeswalker, by gosh golly, I'm getting me a Planeswalker. Invisibility, it's obvious where this goes. Right on the Geist's back. Teferi's Moat does keep the random stuff in check. The goblins or the elves or the whatever you have against. Now, Frozen Ether and Kismet are the same card. I say the same card. That they look like they're not worded. Y'all look up the Oracle text on Kismet. It is the exact wording. It's all opponents, not just target opponent. Now, this last enchantment, Energy Flux, does not see enough love. Oh my gosh, if there's ever a format that has embraced artifacts more, I don't know it. EDH is just the artifact format. Everybody, I play them. I mean, y'all know that I'm in love with me some Soul Ring and Planar Bridge and Power Stone and all that stuff. And this, wow. This right here is just a punishing card. Now, I don't have a lot of creatures. I have 6. I have Mom, the archetype, because, why not? That's another way to make your Geist unblockable. Soul Warden, sure. Reflector Mage. This is actually beautiful against commanders. You bounce their commander to their hand, and they can't play it the next turn. So it's buying you two turns. Now, granted, after that 2 turns, they are coming for you. But, really kind of like Silent Sentinel, because you can get back your enchantments. Vesuvan Doppelganger. Now, Vesuvan Doppelganger, yes, it looks like kind of a weird card to be in here. However, the reason why it's in here is because Vesuvan Doppelganger is in here on the hopes that when you draw it, your enchantments are dudes. And you can change Vesuvan Doppelganger every upkeep. It's all that wall of text there is it comes into play like a clone. It clones something when it comes into play, but during your upkeep, you get to switch it to different creatures. You can make it a different creature. So, I mean, it doesn't even have to be your creature. It can be anybody's creature. But since all your enchantments are creatures, you can get another copy of, Attunement would be just the nuts. But it's pretty good. And y'all did see the Energy Flux. I'm only playing with 4 artifacts, the 2 mana rocks, the journal, and of course, non-basic land walk, because it's all about trying to make our general unblockable. Mass removal in the form of Fated Retribution, Planar Outburst, End Hostilities. Now, all of that's fine and good, but you've got a lot of indestructible stuff out there. So, Descend Upon the Sinful does not care. I mean, this does exactly what this deck wants to do. It exiles all the dudes. You get a token. I mean, more than likely, you're going to have Delirium by the time that you cast this, especially if you've got your attunement thing going off. Hallowed Burial is another one that just eliminates the Eldrazi problem or the indestructible clause. Now, Mystic Speculation, i.e. the poor man's top, because, I'd be playing with Sensei's Divine Top in every damn deck I had if I had it. And I would probably be putting Counterbalance in here. Oh, by the way, did you know that you can trigger Counterbalance to reveal a counterbalance to counter a balance? It's a horrible joke. I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in there. But that's what this is. Actually, this it does cost you 3 mana per cycle. It is sorcery. You can only do it during your main phase. But the fact that it's scry 3, you can ditch those cards you don't want. You can ditch them to the bottom of your library, send them down there, and look at fresh cards every turn for 3 mana. Love me some Mystic Speculation. This would make a good. Well, I don't know if it'd make a good invocation or not. Probably not. Now we got our protection, which is pretty much our counter magic. I really like Render Silent because late game you get people with a ton of mana. This is valuable. Remove Soul is the old Essence Scatter, counters a creature. Of course, our good old-fashioned Counterspell. Commit to Memory, I like, because it effectively counters things that can't be countered. It doesn't use the word counter. It just says, hey, put it in the library, and then you can use your next turn. It even gives you a turn to play your Aftermath. Now, failure to comply is another thing. You return the spell to their hand. More times than not, people are all about that value. They're going to tap out. Or they're going to leave 1 mana open in case somebody's got a daze, or 3 for a mana vault. But there's a good chance that if they're just balls out casting their general, they can't do it twice that turn. So, and my last counter spell is Illumination. Because artifacts and enchantments, yeah, they're going to gain life. I don't care. Nobody sees the white counterspell coming. This actually shines in a mono white deck, because in a mono white deck, there's no illusion that you can counter. I mean, there's a few that are halfway decent, but I really like this one. Yeah, it is very limited, but these are artifacts and enchantments are 2 things that just about everybody plays in our format. Here's a card that nobody sees coming, though, because everybody associates this style card with black because of the sudden spoiling, but loses all abilities. Sorry, Avacyn. Your Indestructible's gone. You're a 1/1 blue frog, and my angels are just going to eat you. Bye-bye, dragons. Progenitus, bye-bye. I run a rescue for various reasons. I love it. It saves a dude. It saves an enchantment. It saves anything. Permanent. And the last card for the deck is, of course, Brainstorm. We got to have our Brainstorm. This is the Ice Age art. I think this is the Anthologies version. No. This is 5th edition. Anyway, I do appreciate y'all watching. That's what I've got for Geist of St. Taft. I know there's quite a few more cards I could have put in. I could have gone different routes with it, but I really love the Opalescence Replenish deck from way back, Urza Block, and that's where I went. Thank you for watching, but right now, it's time to shuffle and cut.